going back to this idea of truth-telling, that being a form of kindness, that being a form of even loving your neighbor. Kristin, you've done a pretty big project around truth-telling, and we would love to know about it and be able to support it.
Thanks, Jemar. Yes, this week, Thursday, is the release of a film that I have produced called For Our Daughters. And it is a film on the sex abuse inside evangelical churches, on the survivors who have called it out at great, immense personal cost. I'm talking about Krista Brown, Jules Woodson, Tiffany Thigpen, and Kate West, and others who have spoken truth to power, some for decades, to try to bring reform, to try to protect other children and women. And so For Our Daughters, we have an Emmy award-winning director who directed this. It's a documentary short, so just 30 minutes. It's free on YouTube. It will be free at forourdaughtersfilm.com. We wanted it to be barrier-free so that any woman can watch it anywhere she is. And I'll just say a quick word about the title, For Our Daughters. Oh, first I should say, so it's about the sex abuse crisis and the failure to address abuse when it does occur, the cover-ups, the blaming the women over and over again. And it delves into both a theological context for that and a wider political context. So we go there. We frame this in terms of Christian nationalism, because it turns out that some of the very same preachers who are preaching Christian nationalism are the same ones who are preaching the submission of women and male patriarchal authority and ends justifies the means theology and politics. And the survivors themselves are drawing this connection, saying, we lived this. We know what it's like when things go wrong in these spaces. And trust us, these are not the men that you want in charge of our country. And so it's a message to women inside churches and women outside of churches, women in this country, citizens of this country, a real call to action. And the title of the film, For Our Daughters, actually came about in a couple of different ways. A couple of the survivors in the film, actually what motivated them to go public and to speak out was when they had daughters of their own. And when their own daughters came to the age that they were when they were victimized, and they realized they had been blamed. They had been blamed as girls, as young women, for their own for their own abuse. And the predators, I mean, one of them, Krista, had been made to apologize to the wife of her rapist. And then when she had her own daughter, she thought, no way, and then could understand and then was motivated to go public and to fight for reform, to fight for justice. And just weeks after Jesus and John Wayne released, because this film is based on the last chapter of Jesus and John Wayne, I was contacted by 3 conservative evangelical women of some standing. I recognized their names when they reached out to me. And I thought that they were contacting me because they had some issues with the book, right? Jesus and John Wayne, how white evangelicals corrupted a faith, fractured a nation. I thought they'd want to say, okay, you took this a little too far. I was wrong. They said, thank you, Kristin. Thank you for what you have done. And then they said, it is too late for us. We have made our choices and we are living the lives that we have made. We can't walk away from our lives, but we want something different for our daughters. And so I've taken those words with me, and that's what this film is about. And that is who this film is for. So it releases Thursday on YouTube at forourdaughters.com. We're going to have it on another site that is built for group screenings, virtual screenings, so you can grab some friends, women in your church, perhaps in a book club, family members, and you can host a virtual screening yourself or an in-person screening. Bring people together, watch the film, listen to their words, and then think about what you maybe want to do.
So that's all free.
It's all free,
Oh,
no
fantastic.
barriers, accessible to everybody.
Well, I know this
amazing.
work takes a lot out of you, so thank you. I mean, you wrote the book and then building on top of it. I think it's freeing a lot of people, and it's really difficult work, this truth telling, because you are open to those attacks. And it's also draining as you sort of share this testimony and this burden. But I am grateful. As a man, definitely, I want to watch this and become more aware and hopefully supportive of women across the board. So thank you for doing that.
It's always a great kindness to shine a light into dark corners.
That's what we're talking about, truth and kindness.